right. President Biden announced that the federal government will cover 100% of all recovery costs from the fires for 6 months. Let's discuss with Congresswoman Judy Chu of California. First, I know that you got to see the entirety of the damage in Altadena, which is part of your district. Can you first describe to us just what it is that you saw and what it did to you seeing these apocalyptic scenes?
I visited and toured the entire destroyed sites of Pasadena and Altadena yesterday. I did it with the FEMA administrator, and I was stunned by the devastation that I saw, especially since so many of the areas were so familiar to me. But to see it all burned to the ground, I just could not believe it. In Altadena, I saw utter destruction, blocks of homes that were burned to the ground. In Pasadena, I saw homes that were selectively burned to the ground. For instance, in Hastings Ranch in Pasadena, it was just astounding where you saw one home burned to the ground and the home next to it just totally intact. And it was explained to me that's because it was an ember fire. The embers chose to settle on a home and that home burned. But also what astounded me were the major institutions that I'd been to so many times, like the Altadena Town and Country House. It's a site where so many events take place and where I've gone to so many times, totally burned to the ground. The Pasadena Jewish Temple, totally burned to the ground. And these are going to be huge holes in the community where we will definitely have to come together and make sure that we rebuild so that this community can be what it once was, which was a beautiful community.
It truly was a beautiful community. I am familiar with both Pasadena and Altadena. I've been there many times, and it's just so hard to look at these pictures and know the pain it has caused the residents and business owners there. The public has heard a lot from celebrities who live in the hills of the Pacific Palisades and who are in dire pain after losing their homes. But Altadena is where middle and working class families live, who are in a much different financial situation. What will those federal funds that are, Biden says, will pay for 100% of recovery cost for 6 months mean to Altadena residents?
Well, actually, we're talking about two different types of funds. President Biden did something very, very important, and that is approve 100% of the federal fire management grants. And I have to thank Governor Newsom because immediately they asked that Washington, D.C. approve our area for these grants. Normally, though, the coverage is 75%. But President Biden did something wonderful in saying it'd be 100%. Now, in terms of help for residents, that comes from FEMA. And that's why I was so insistent that the FEMA administrator come from Washington, D.C. to our area of Altadena and Pasadena so she could see how this entire community has been devastated. And FEMA has a huge amount of resources that can help residents get back on their feet. I would encourage, in fact, everybody who is affected to go on to the disasterassistance.gov site and get the process going, input your information. Also contact your insurance, because what FEMA will do is assess where you are, what the insurance will pay for, and what they can make up in terms of making sure you get back on their feet and making sure that you have somewhere to stay, for one thing.
Congressman Chu, our reporters were there when the fire hydrants ran out of water in Altadena, and now LA's fire chief is saying that crews are no longer even using hydrants to help them fight the fires, which are still burning. What is the problem with the fire hydrants?
I had a briefing yesterday when I was with the FEMA administrator, and there is enough water, but what there was a problem that occurred right at the height of the fire, which is that they had to turn down the electricity in order to make sure that the fire wasn't aggravated because of the electricity. They need electricity in order to pump water. So they turned that down. And then at the same time, there were so many hydrants that were being used all at once. That aggravated the situation. In addition, they said there are homes that have been devastated where the water wasn't turned off. So there actually are homes where the water is just pouring out and they have to go home by home to turn it off. So that was a temporary situation, but they do have the situation in hand right now.
Okay, so the hydrants would be working now, the electricity turned back on, correct?
Yes.
All right. Representative
yes.
Judy Chu.
And in fact, I have to say, right now, the water is in good shape. The fire actually is going north rather than towards the home. So it's going to the Mount Wilson Observatory area, and the firefighters are making sure that that is safe because it's a major communication hub.
Yep, there has been a shift. Firefighters saying that they hope they can get some more of a handle on all of the fires that are burning there, including a new one